20 years. 20 years hard time, but finally last week, the last of my 3 kids moved out. I told my husband to put that big stamp right across my forehead. Rolled. It's been hard trying to figure out what to do with my freedom. I don't have a lot of connections on the outside. My kids have told me that this is because I'm a loser, because I don't have any friends, and I've tried to figure out the reason that I don't have friends is because I gave birth to these 3 hobgoblins. Seriously, now, I would have had to lead a double life if I wanted to make friends while raising my kids. And that's obviously not realistic. You can't do that. My husband can't afford a second house payment in the state, at least house 3 states away, and an unlisted phone number in a moat. I told him I didn't actually have to have the phone. That wasn't real. So, let's see, what else have we got here? Sorry, this is definitely my first time doing this. I did. I gave up trying to make friends a long time ago. My kids, they had this innate ability to know when I was talking to someone, and then they would just materialize, just out of the blue. I'd be like, "Hi, I'm Elliott, I'm your new neighbor, and there's my son," and he's like, "Hey, how are you? You know us? We just moved in next door. Hey, you know that show Malcolm in the Middle where all the kids are brats and the mom's crazy? That's us. That's who we are." Well, it was really nice to meet you, but I guess it's time I go home and duct tape my son to his door. You know, I realize motherhood does not come with a manual. But how about some schematics? Do you think maybe the doctor or some of those that come way out the door just for all hope's sake? You know, if you sit at home looking at them going, I know it says it's a girl, but it sure looks to me like a dishwasher. 9 years later, you realize, hey, it is a dishwasher. Hey, did you ever figure out what those other 2 are? Well, the one looks like a lawnmower, and this one looks like a Led Zeppelin album that only plays backward. That would explain a whole lot right there. I tried the timeout thing. For those of you who have little kids, let me give you some advice here. Timeout only works if you have kids who are willing to be on timeout. If you have kids like mine were, and where timeout just is not on their agenda, I've come up with a new plan, and it's called FedEx. And what you do is you call FedEx, and you ask for them to come do a pickup, and you stick that little kid in that box, and you ship him off to your own house. And when you sign for him the next day, you explain to him, that's called a timeout. I promise you'll never get a call from the school. Well, you might get a call from the teacher complaining that your kid won't stop telling her that that's not really a timeout. So yeah, my kids think I'm crazy, and you know, that's an ambiguous word. Like, I'm not Jeffrey Dahmer crazy, but you know, when my girls were in middle school, they had really pissed me off one night, and I decided that the best way to handle it would be to go to the school and check them out dressed like a hooker. During class change. And then I took them out to lunch to make up for it, and they really wanted me to get a job, which I don't have, at least not a real one anyway. I did interview for a job one time, and the guy told me this is a full-time position, it pays $5.15 an hour, and I did some calculations, and I discovered that for $5.15 an hour, $5.15 an hour, I apologize, and I did the calculations, and I figured out that for $5.15 an hour less, I can take an 8-hour nap. So I took the cut in pay, and I really like the job I've got now. So I am home all day, but I don't watch a lot of daytime TV, usually because it kind of interferes with my job. And, but one day I wasn't working, and I had the TV on, and there was a woman interviewing this very happy young waitress, and she asked her this question. She said, if you had a chance to serve anybody at all, who would you choose? She said, Ben Affleck. I'm going, Ben Affleck. You're kidding me. Out of anybody at all, you're choosing Ben. I wouldn't have chosen Ben if the question had been if I could have anybody at all serve me. I mean, he's not even a talented one. If someone had asked me that question, my answer would have been, I don't serve people. Now, for those of you who didn't laugh at that joke, don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. If I ever got the chance to meet Prince, I would definitely have sex with him. But I wouldn't serve him. That's my time. You guys have enjoyed it.